Hey guys, it's Wednesdays with Chasey Poo. Today we're talking about how do you relate to your culture. So, if we talk about like where my family and stuff is from, I'm not close at all to my mom's side. I asked her once, like she left when I was 1. She lives in Vancouver. I've messaged her a couple of times on Facebook. We had like a conversation. We had a big fight last year about my dad. Like, leave it alone, you know? Like, I didn't really care about any of that, but she kept talking to me about it, so whatever. But I had asked her years ago, like, what is your background? Like, where are we from? What are we? Like, I know we're all Canadian, but where are, like, my grandparents from? And she gave me, like, a fucking, like, essay. Like a paragraph, like, you know, on Facebook messages, like, it looks like an essay, but it's like a paragraph about how there are some people from my family from England and some people from Ukraine, and I literally have no idea. So I just kind of say I don't know what that side of me is, but it sounds like there is some Ukrainian in there. But I have literally no idea. But if you don't know already, if you didn't guess it by my last name, which is Ross, I am Scottish, and I have never identified at all with anything related to Scotland. Like, I even saying it right now, I feel like I'm disassociating and it's not my body right now. I'm just having a little meltdown. I don't feel like I am part of the Scottish culture at all. My dad, it's like my grandpa is like was born in Scotland, and then came here and had my dad. But my dad, I think, feels close to that, like the heritage that we have with Scotland. And he like wore a kilt and stuff like that. Like, he thinks it's really cool and it's like very stylish, so he likes to wear a kilt when he's working at like flea markets and stuff like that. He's hilarious. It brings attention, people buy his stuff, it's cool. But for me, I think about Scotland and I'm like, I've been there. I went to Glasgow, I went to Edinburgh. That's really cool. I'm part of a huge Facebook group of like all the Rosses in the world, where we have mapped out how we're all related to each other, which is really awesome. But I identify so much more with my last name than when I do the Scottish culture and the Scottish heritage and Scottish history and location and all of that stuff. Maybe in the future it's something that I could see myself like embracing, but for right now, like, I don't have time. And I don't know, honestly, like, the culture that I associate myself with way more is the Canadian culture. I am Canadian, and I love being Canadian and all the things that come with being Canadian. I love the stereotypes that come with being Canadian as well. Like, but these are, I guess, stereotypes that I'm making up in my head, but like, we like drink maple syrup by the gallons, which we do. I have 4 cans of maple syrup in my fridge literally right now. Like, I live off of maple syrup, basically. And we're nice, and we use like please and thank you, and we're very understanding. Like, these are the things that I kind of attribute to being Canadian. Not that I'm saying that other countries aren't like that. Like, yes, there are a lot of people in America who, in the United States, who have very good manners and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of Canadians are very understanding. Like, I feel safe when I go to big cities. Like, as a queer person, as a visibly queer person, I go to Toronto, I feel safe. In Montreal, I've lived there my whole life, I feel safe. And then I go to Vancouver and I feel like I'm at home, because I feel like I've grown up so much in the Quebec side of Canada, like the French part of Canada, where my culture is very Quebecois, it's very Quebec like related. And I am also Canadian though, because Quebec is in Canada, but there are a lot of people in Quebec who just kind of like have a Quebec identity and that's it. They don't say that they're Canadian, whatever. I'm not like that. I like to embrace these two parts of me because it's something that I don't ever really talk about online, but I do really miss like being French. Like, I miss talking in French, like in my like French, like my Quebecois, whatever accent and stuff like that. Like, it was really fun, and the culture was like really interesting. Like, there are like comedians and stuff that I listen to and I still listen to this day that are like from Quebec, and I just think it's funny and it's really great. And a part of me really likes to embrace this French part of me from Quebec and then this like Canadian part of me from Canada. And it's interesting because I did a road trip across Canada. I went to like the big provinces and like British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Quebec. And going through those provinces, you could see that there is a difference. So yes, there is a lot of like rural areas that aren't very accepting in a lot of the provinces, like northern or mid provinces and stuff like that. of the province, sorry. But I still felt, because like I am in Canada, I felt better. I don't know how to explain it. Like if I was in like rural Alberta, I would feel way better than being in like rural Nebraska. And that is because America scares the shit out of me, honestly. Too much stuff about gun violence, too many hate crimes, too much stuff. Like I feel like Canada, we kind of take it. We're not perfect. Oh my God, we are not perfect. But in terms of culture and identity, I don't identify with the like heritage and cultural background that my dad and my mom have. I identify way more with being Canadian, and that might be just because I was born in Canada and both my parents are Canadian, from Canada, instead of like they were born somewhere else, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Anyways, that's it. Where are you from? Where do your cultural, like how do you relate to your cultural identity, your culture, your ethnic identity? How about that? It would be really interesting to know where the viewers say about this stuff. Let me know. And what is like the coolest, or like what's the weirdest thing that you think that you're the weirdest cool thing? Like I think it's fucking weird that we go in Quebec and we take maple syrup and we warm it up and then we put it in the snow, roll it up with a popsicle stick and eat it, and it's called cire. That's weird, but it's also the most amazing thing you'll ever put in your mouth. Other than my dick. I'm kidding. Okay, have a good week. Love you. Bye.